Hello everyone, my name is Akshita Agrawal and I'm a clinical dietitian. Today the topic that I've chosen for this video is the diet for the patients who have recovered from COVID. How to deal with the weakness, how to take a diet which help you in reviving your body. So since this virus have been mutating over the last year, and the very detailed and exact nutrient requirement is yet to be discovered, but a general post viral infection protocol is working just fine, and I've used it with my a number of patients, and they have shown wonderful improvement with these diets. So I will in this video lay down some basic principles that we use when we are planning a diet for any post viral infection patient. And if you apply these to a post covid patients, they should help you a lot. Whenever I will get updated about the specific nutrient requirement, the micronutrients and the macronutrients, I will make a follow-up video on the same. So let's start by understanding what happens when any viral infection, when you contract any viral infection. Four things are mainly affected in your body. First is the glycogen store. In a previous video about diabetes, I had explained that what is glycogen. In this video, I will tell you in brief that whatever excess sugar is present in our blood is converted by insulin into glycogen, and it is stored in our liver. It serves as a reserve for our body. So when we contract any infection, when we have any fever, any injury, this glycogen is broken down into glucose. This energy is utilized for fighting that infection. Now whenever a person deals with any infection like covid or any viral infection, this glycogen store is depleted, because all the glycogen that was kept as a reserve will be utilized during this phase. Because often when a person is having high fever, their appetite goes down, so the person is not able to keep up with the energy requirement. So first change that happens in your body is that the glycogen goes down. Second change that happens is that a lot of protein is wasted, because the protein is utilized in making the antibodies, the fighter cells which are required to fight any infection that has entered your body. So a lot of protein is utilized from your body, so a lot of muscle wasting can happen. So you might have observed that any patient who contracted any viral infection for a long time, they tend to lose weight. So this is muscle loss is one of the weight that you lose during this infection. So first is glycogen loss, second is your muscle loss. Third change that happens is that your dehydration takes place. When you are having fever, your body temperature goes up, so there is a lot of evaporation that happens. Your body is constantly trying to bring the temperature to normal, and that's why a lot of fluid is lost during this time. And a number of patients are also experiencing diarrhea or vomiting during these infections, so that adds to the loss of the fluids. Next change that happens during this infection is that you lose a lot of electrolytes. Electrolytes are your sodium, potassium, chloride, which are present in your blood, and they have very important functions of carrying various important messages in your body. So when you are losing fluid, since they are water soluble, you also lose these electrolytes. Now when you lose these electrolytes, there might be a fluctuation in your bp. So many people who are dealing with viral infections, they complain of low bp or bp fluctuations. You might have cramps in your body because a lot of fluids have been lost, a lot of electrolytes have been lost, so there might be a lot of muscle cramping in the body. So when we are planning a diet for any post viral infection, we keep these four major requirements in mind. First is your carbohydrate requirement, which will replenish your glycogen stores. Then is your protein requirement, which will restore the muscle that has been lost. Third is your fluid requirement, which will replenish your dehydration in the body. And fourth is your electrolyte, which will replenish the electrolyte that are lost. So what kind of carbohydrates can you take? post viral infections. For a short duration, that is for a period of 2 to 3 days, you should take instant sugars, easy to digest sugars, so that your digestion doesn't lay extra load on your body. So starches are a very good idea. So potato is a good source, rice is good source, your sabudana is a very good source, corn is a good source. These are few instant energy providing foods that you can eat. All the fruits which give you instant energy, like mango, banana, grapes, chiku, these are very good idea to consume in the initial 2-3 days of the infection, because they will provide you with instant calories, and that will help you restore glycogen stores faster, and the weakness will gradually leave your body. Now after 3 to 4 days, you can shift on to a more complex carb diet. So you can take whole wheat atta, you can take brown rice, you can take oats, you can take ragi, all the complex carbohydrates, they can come in. All the other fruits that are present which release sugar in a slow manner, like your watermelon, muskmelon, then oranges, papaya, they can come in. Your salads like carrot can come in, they will provide you good energy. So these can be your carb sources which you can take after a post infection. Now coming on to your protein requirement. Now, since the digestion of the patient is compromised most of the times when he's dealing with a viral infection, because there is a lot of antibiotics that he's taking, and there can be a general distress on the digestion. So try to keep protein from a source which is easy to digest and which gives you maximum protein from minimum quantity. So obviously the protein requirement of such patient will be very high, but you also need to keep in mind that just giving the protein will not help the patient. It needs to be easy to digest also. So milk and dairy become a very good source of protein for any for any vegetarian person, because these are from animal source. They have good quality of protein and they are easier to break down. You can add nuts also, you can add your dals also, but they should not be the prime source of protein in the diet of a recovering patient. Then for non-vegetarians, it is easier. They can take eggs. Eggs is the most ideal protein that you can give a patient who's recovering from any major infection and any major injury. Then chicken is another good thing that you can give. You can give it in the form of soups. You can give it in the form of chicken curry with low fat. Make sure that whatever preparation you are giving, whether it is a carbohydrate a meal or it is a protein meal, don't give very high fat meal, because fat will again make it very difficult for the patient to digest. The stomach, the digestion has suffered a lot, and try to keep the meal simple, easy to digest for the patient. So nuts are very important to be added to the diet. So nuts like almonds, walnuts are very crucial if you are planning a diet for any patient who's recovering from such infections. Next, moving on to the fluid part. So anybody who has a sore throat can go for coconut water, plain water. They can go for ORS. These are the fluids which will replenish their lost fluids. And anybody who is who doesn't have a sore throat and can take curd based beverages like lassi or chach, they can take lemonade, they can take coconut water, they can go for these fluids. Now juices, fruit juices can also be taken, but only for the initial 1 or 2 days after the recovery of the patient, because they are instant sugar. So a lot of sugar is not recommended, but initial 2-3 days, since the calorie requirement is very high, that time you can incorporate juices. So any mixed fruit juice will do, any anar juice will do, any fruit juices will do. Even carrot juice is very good, beetroot juice is very good at that point, that you can give to the patient. Now next is electrolytes. Like I recommended ORS, that is oral rehydration solution. The simplest way to make it in home is by adding sugar and salt to your water. And ORS is very good source for providing electrolytes. Nimbu pani or your lemonade is a very good source of providing electrolytes to your body. Then chach is a very good way of providing electrolyte. Anything that has a lot of a bit of salt in it, a bit of sugar in it, is a very good way of replenishing your electrolytes. electrolytes. So these are the 4 things that you can keep in mind while you are dealing with any post viral infection recovery, and COVID is also one of them. I have used these basic principles with my patients, and I've seen good recovery with them. And as soon as more information will come in, I will keep making up follow-up videos. One thing that you can do as a preventive thing, that you don't contract COVID again, or you don't have a infection again, is that you take a lot of antioxidants. I've made 2 videos on antioxidants. One is about immunity and one is about vitamin C. Please go and watch them. They will give you an idea about the property of antioxidants, that how they work, what are the sources. Antioxidant rich diet is always recommended for all the people who are dealing with they are dealing with COVID, or they have recovered from COVID, so that they don't contract this infection again. Antioxidants are very important. So I hope this video has helped you in understanding that what should be the basic criteria when you are recovering from this infection. And if you liked this video, please share it with your family and friends so that they can also benefit from it. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.